Hi guys, welcome back to Chasing Cases with Maddie, of course. This week I'm bringing to you guys a very disturbing and just irritating case. So without further ado, let's get into it. Let's go chase some cases. Today we are going to be covering the case of Tamla Horsford. Tamla was just 40 years old, enjoying life as a wife and mom of 5. Known for hanging out with her friends and having a great time, she was known as the life of the party. Tamla went to a football mom's sleepover only to never wake up again. Living in Georgia with her family of 7, Tamla loved life in the coming community. Making friends with some people local to the area, Tamla definitely found her village. Arriving at the slumber party around 8:30, Tamla joined in on the fun. Most people were already drinking and talking, playing games, whatever. The reason for the party is they were celebrating Jeannie Meyer's birthday, and that is Tamla's friend. Tamla brought a bottle of tequila from the Caribbean islands as a kind of just an icebreaker of sorts. Not necessarily that she didn't know these people, but it's kind of like one of the first few times that they had all drank together. But as she passed the bottle around, people started turning their noses up at it, basically saying I don't drink tequila, I don't like the hard stuff, all of that. Tamla was the only one that drank the tequila. It's also important to note that at the sleepover, most of the attendees were women, with the exception of 3 men, who were Jose Barrera, Jeannie's boyfriend, Tom Smith, husband to one of the women, and another man were in attendance. Out of 12 people hanging out that night, only 8 planned to stay the night. While the women enjoyed the football game upstairs, the men watched in the basement. The women sat upstairs watching football and playing Cards Against Humanity all together as the night progressed. Pictures were also taken and posted to social media, videos as well. After a while of hanging out, Tamla went out onto the balcony to smoke a cigarette. She also smoked some weed that night. According to Jeannie, she told Tamla that she needed to quit smoking the weed at her house, claiming that she was the female Bob Marley and that Jose was a pretrial officer and would not have any of that. Around 11:30 p.m., guests who weren't staying at the party decided to start leaving. People began to go to bed shortly after that. According to police interviews in the home security system, Jeannie, Tamla, and Bridget all sat up and hanging out. Around 1:30 a.m., Jeannie and Jose headed off to bed. The last person to see Tamla that night was Bridget. She claimed that she saw Tamla eating a bowl of gumbo and claiming that she was going to smoke another cigarette before heading off to bed. Bridget was picked up at 1:47 a.m. by her husband, and that is confirmed by home security systems. Over the next 10 minutes, from 1:47 a.m. to 1:57 a.m., the home security system logged the back door opening, closing, and opening again at 1:57 a.m. The next morning, around 8:45 in the morning, Madeline, Jeannie's aunt, walked into the kitchen to make her morning coffee, and she spotted Tamla's body in the backyard. After she said a prayer, Madeline headed upstairs to tell her niece that something had happened to her friend from the islands. That's how she referred to Tamla. Shortly after 9 a.m., they called 911. In the 911 call, Jeannie and Jose were both speaking to dispatch. Jose claimed she's not moving one bit, that she's laying face down in the yard, and that she's stiff. And then when Jeannie started speaking to dispatch, she claimed she was drinking, and it looks like she must have fallen off the balcony. Tamla was pronounced dead at the scene. The initial investigation concluded that Tamla's death was an accident, claiming she fell off the second-story deck. The toxicology report came back, and she had THC in her system and a blood alcohol content of 0.238, which is nearly 3 times the legal limit to drive. High BAC is typically accompanied with slurred speech, just very bad impairments to the way you typically function, also accompanying blackouts and loss of coordination. These documents caused more confusion and the case became closed, leaving Tamla's family with more questions and without justice. In the videos posted to social media, Tamla does not appear overly drunk, and that causes some questions to rise for the family, so I'm just going to read something real quick. Tamla's family has asked many questions. How does someone with that high of a BAC control themselves that well but fall off a balcony? How did she manage to fall over a nearly 4-foot railing and into the backyard? How could a house full of people, some asleep for only a half hour, not hear someone fall from that high up? Could a fall from 15 to 20 feet up cause death, a dislocated wrist, broken neck, and laceration to her heart muscle? Why wasn't the scene preserved? What truly happened when the back door opened just before 2 a.m., and why was it left open until morning? Her family speculates the night would have gone differently if she was not the only black woman in attendance. During the 2020 Black Lives Matter protests, people began to speak of Tamla's death. On June 5th, the Horsford family attorney wrote a letter to Leander, Tamla's husband, stating his team's investigation strongly suggests homicide. Witness statements were beginning to conflict with each other, leading investigators to believe that a subject had handled Tamla's body after she had fallen or passed away, definitely before law enforcement arrived. Evidence was disposed of and no inquiry followed. They also noted Tamla's injuries were consistent with a physical struggle. They began the second investigation on June 12, 2020. Forsyth County Sheriff Ron Freeman sent a letter requesting the case to be reopened. The GBI agreed and reopened the case, only to close the case in July of 2021 without pursuing criminal charges. Now let's get into the theories. Friend involvement. Many people speculate the people at the party caused Tamla's death. One way that people see it, the way that Tamla was treated that night, everyone kind of treated her as like an outsider, like some sort of like weird person, as if they didn't invite her. Refusing to drink her tequila and judging her marijuana consumption, it seems like they were just very judgmental people. But somehow everyone was asleep or had left the house after Tamla had fell, before she fell, everything. And not to mention that some people who planned to stay the night ended up leaving that night and not staying. And people also connect the open back door left until morning as connected to foul play, because that's the only... Every other time Tamla had stepped out to smoke a cigarette, she had closed the door behind her, opened it, and then closed it again. She's not gonna leave it open to go smoke a cigarette and then fall off the balcony. That's just... She had been drinking all night, and she had been doing the same routine every time she went out to smoke. She would open the door, close it behind her, smoke her cigarette, open the door, close it behind her, go inside. That's how her routine was. In the aftermath, Tamla's family is still fighting for justice. With both investigations, all interviews, and witness statements, the case remains closed. And with that, that is the end of this week's video. I really hope that there is some justice in this case soon. That's why this case is so aggravating, because it's like she wanted to just go hang out with her friends and somehow she ended up dead, and now they're seeing signs of homicide. So with that being said, I send my love to the Horsford family. I cannot believe this, and I send all my thoughts and love to Tamla. This one's just crazy. But anyways, I'm gonna get out of here. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode of Chasing Cases. I'll see you guys next week for a normal vlog, and in 2 weeks for another episode. With that being said, I love you.